Good afternoon, everyone. Government First Grade
Good
College,
afternoon.
Chikkaballapur, funded by IQAC, is organizing 7 days faculty development program. On the fourth day of our program, I welcome all of you very warmly. First of all, I'll repeat once again the guidelines to the participants. Firstly, join the meeting 10 to 15 minutes early. Use your full name while joining. Keep your microphone muted unless invited to speak. Only if requested, turn on your camera during the interactive sessions. Maintain professional decorum throughout the program. Complete the feedback forms within the specified time. Ensure a stable internet connection and use headphones if possible. Raise questions using the chat box or the raise hand feature. Lastly, there would be live streaming of our program on YouTube channel. Those who couldn't get the connection on Zoom, you can try the YouTube link which is posted in the WhatsApp group. Dear participants, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the fourth day of our faculty development program on the topic interactive teaching using ICT and LMS tools. As we step into another enriching day of learning, let us remember that technology is not merely about using devices or applications. It is about creating better learning experiences and making the classroom more interactive and more participatory, learner centered. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a beautiful saying which is, I quote, technology will never replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational. I repeat once again, technology will never replace the great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational. In today's educational landscape, ICT tools and learning management systems have opened up exciting possibilities. Dear friends, today's session is going to focus on how we can make technology an effective partner in our teaching and learning practices as well. Now, to formally welcome the dignitaries and introduce our esteemed resource person, I now invite Professor Nizamuddin, Department of Economics, GFGC Chikkaballapur. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mangala Kumari ma'am. Very good afternoon to everyone. Respected all the dignitaries and the delegates who have joined to this national level online 7 days FDP organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cells, Government First Grade College, Chikkaballapura. Today, we have reached day 4 technical session on interactive teaching using ICT and LMS tools. On this occasion, at the very outset, I would like to welcome our beloved Principal Professor Vasundhara ma'am to this session. We are fortunate enough to have with us today's resource persons, Dr. V. Vargin Nitya Veena, Assistant Professor of English and Dean of Online Education, Holy Cross College, Nagarpil, Tamil Nadu. I would like to give a brief introduction about today's resource persons. Dr. V. Vargin Nitya Veena, Assistant Professor of English, Holy Cross College, Nagarpil, Tamil Nadu. Presently, she holds the office of the Dean of Online Education. She is also the Swayam NPTEL SPOC of the college. She has completed a UGC-sponsored minor research project published and presented more than 70 research articles, including Scopus Index journals, edited seminar proceedings, editor of International Quarterly Multidisciplinary Research, and acted as resource persons in various programs. Received Research Excellence Award in 2021 and Academic Excellence Award in 2021 by Institute of Researchers Wynot. She is the Invites creative writer and compiler of an anthology, Escape, Journey into the Interior Exterior. She has published the books like The Feminist Study in the Select Novels of Shashi Deshpande, The Dark Holds No Terrors and That Long Silence. And also she has published an eco-critical exploration of Linda Hogan's Power and Michael Cohen Khorasani's The Almond Tree. The third her publication is Culinary Text, a critique of food representations in contemporary Indian nonfiction. She has also published The New Age Career Skills. She has been recognized as a PhD guide in Manomantan Sundaranar University, Tirunelveli, with the status of 2 scholars awarded, 2 scholars submitted, and 1 scholar and under the guidance. On behalf of IQAC and on behalf of the Department of Collegiate Education, on behalf of the Government First Aid College, Chikkaballapura, I welcome you warmly, ma'am, to this particular session. I also welcome our college dynamic IQAC coordinator, Dr. Putluru Sunita Madam, to this session. My warm welcome to all the HODs, teaching and non-teaching staff, conveners, co-conveners, and advisory committee to this particular session. Last but not least, I would like to welcome all the delegates from across the nation who have registered and joined to this faculty development program. Once again, I welcome you all. Thanks for the opportunity. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your heartfelt welcome. Now, I request our respected resource person, Madam Virgin Nitya Veena, to kindly take the session forward and enlighten us on the topic interactive teaching using ICT and LMS tools. Madam, session is yours.
Thank you, ma'am. Warm greetings to one and all present here. With a note of gratitude to Lord Almighty, I would like to begin this presentation. And I would also like to thank Dr. Sunita, IQAC Director, and the person who has delivered the welcome address for having given this opportunity. I think now we can delve into the topic. So today's topic is interactive teaching using ICT and LMS tools. We'll go for the presentation. So as we all are in the digital era, with AI dominating in all spaces, we shall see how AI and other ICT tools can be used to enhance our teaching and learning methodologies. So the topic is from digital tools to transformative teaching. So we are already aware of a number of digital tools and we use it for varied purposes. Actually, digital tools help us to go for collaborative teaching, which is one of the most sought after teaching pedagogy. Actually moving from individual teaching to shared learning. This is what actually collaborative teaching means. And when it comes to shared learning, students learn through discussion, group work, peer learning, joining for problem solving, then digital collaboration. And here, teacher becomes the facilitator, designer, and mentor. So here our role changes from a teacher to a facilitator, designer, and mentor. And technology enables collaboration beyond classroom. And we shall see how ICT helps us in doing that. So why we need to go for collaborative teaching is a question that is in all of us. So with the push, we all are into ICT enabled teaching, and what change it could bring in the students and the teachers or altogether in the teaching learning scenario. Actually, it increases the student participation, it develops communication skills, it encourages critical thinking, it promotes peer learning, builds teamwork and leadership, supports problem solving and creativity, and develops digital literacy and creates learner centered classrooms. So, these days we are very much talking about learner centered classrooms, and these learner centered classrooms can be made possible, can be realized, materialized if we go for collaborative teachings. We shall see how we can go about with it. So actually the basic model of collaborative teaching starts with the learning outcome. So we all have specified the learning outcomes for all the courses. So after looking into those course outcomes, we should plan the collaborative task we can give to the students. And after defining the task, we should plan about the digital tool. There are varied digital tools for teaching, then for assessment, for feedback, for the digital presence and everything. So we should fix the digital tool after defining the collaborative task that we are going to do. After getting into the digital tool, the student should be a participant in the process of collaborative teaching and should eventually come out with strong evidences with those digital tools, like maybe a concrete e-discussion, coming up with a research output, and such other things. And they can even participate in whiteboard learning when it comes to mathematics and science learning. And after which both the peer and the teacher feedback has to be got after, and then we should go for reflection. So feedback tools are there like Mentimeter and other such tools are there, Google Forms and everything is, there are many tools which will be of help. So when it comes to reflection, we will be able to understand how well we have been in the process of collaboration, in the process of teaching and learning. So this makes all the students to get involved in the process and come up with their own way of doing it. And this caters to the concept of inclusivity here. So we should always believe that technology should support the learning activity and it should not become the activity. So we can make use as a tool and it should not become everything in the process of both teaching and learning. So when it comes to the categories of collaborative tools, depending upon the purpose, the tools differ. So when it comes to collaborative writing, there are basic tools like Google Docs and Word Online. Hardly do we understand that, of course, these two are collaborative tools because we are very much into the use of these tools, but hardly have we ever recognized this as a collaborative tool. So when it comes to the presentations, it is the Google Slides and the PowerPoint Online. So wherein in these two cases, there can be multiple editors of the same document. Most of us would have already used it, or we would have been in practice of doing it without knowing that it comes under collaborative activity, collaborative learning. So the next thing that we do in every classroom activity is brainstorming. Before introducing a chapter, before introducing something new to the students, we will always go for a brainstorming. So we do it orally in the classroom, but again, this can be done as a collaborative activity through the digital ICT tools like Padlet, Miro, Whiteboard, etc. So we will see all these tools, at least few of these tools, after going through whatever is there in the slides, so that it will be easy for us to have the hands-on training. So the next thing that we can do, the purpose is live interaction, and again, Mentimeter and Slido are the easiest tools which will help us to have live interaction during a session. Even while we do a lecture, we can make use of these to know whether the students have understood certain concepts, whether they are able to remember certain things, and all those things can be checked using Mentimeter or Slido. The next purpose of collaborative learning is quizzes. Of course, when it comes to assessment, quizzes play a vital role. And as we are all familiar, Google Forms, Kahoot, and quizzes help us to give quizzes to the students. There are many other tools which you may be familiar with, but these are few. So, and we all want to go for interactive PPT. We need to make a number of PPTs in our teaching process. So for that, a very handy tool is Canva. Then there are also different tools like Genially and others. When it comes to communication, as we now are communicating, this is a collaborative activity again. And the collaborative tool that we have used here is Zoom. And there are, of course, the familiar tools like MS Teams and Google Meet. When it comes to research sharing, again, it is a collaborative process. Google Drive and OneDrive are well sought after, most sought after collaborative tools. So above all, now AI is into the collaborative tool, and AI supported inquiry is made possible through Gemini Notebook LM, or formerly Google Notebook LM, then ChatGPT and Gemini in general. Of course, we will just see few of the things in when we do the hands-on. So we will now see just how Google Docs can serve the purpose of collaborative writing. So multiple students can work on one document, and that is the possibility of real-time editing and commenting. So we can add the editors, and at the same time, a group of students can work in the same
Ma'am,
document.
ma'am, ma'am, sorry for the interruption.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಲೈಫ್ ಡೆನ್ಯೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ. ಓಕೆ ಡನ್. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ
Participants, please mute yourself.
ಹೋಗಿರ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ,
Participants, please mute your.
ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಾ? ಹೌದು, ಎಂಟರ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಾ? ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಅಲ್ಲ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ವಿ
Madam, please mute your mic.
ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತೀವಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಅದೇನ್ ನೋಡೋದನ್ನ.
ಸರಿ, ಅದೊಂದು.
Are things okay from my side?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
There
Shall I
was
proceed?
disturbance. Yeah, there
Yes.
was disturbance from the participant side. Now it is muted. You can continue, please.
Okay, ma'am. Is it in the slideshow mode now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
madam.
shall I proceed?
Yeah, please.
Okay, thank you. So here the teacher can track individual contributions. She can comment whenever necessary, wherever necessary, and it is all very much useful for group assignments, completion of research projects, literary analysis, any editing process as a collaborative activity. So the activity that can be given using Google Docs is actually analyzing a poem or creating a critical response. So when it comes to Google Slides, again, through slides, collaborative learning can be done. So many students can work together in one presentation. They can decide upon who is to work on what.
Sign on observation la. Observation sign
And this kind of Google Slides presentations will be useful for the students when they get ready seminar presentations, group projects, or any such presentations as mentioned here. And moreover, the teacher can very well monitor when students do this collaborative activity via Google Slides. They can also provide feedback wherever necessary. And again, this can be a collaborative activity wherein the students of the group can decide upon how they are going to work together. So Padlet is another important collaborative tool. This can very well be made use of during the brainstorming sessions. So this is a digital wall which helps everyone to share their ideas. And the students can post either text or images or links or videos or even questions. So this is how the collaborative activity happens in the form of brainstorming. Am I in the slideshow mode?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Hmm?
ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅದೇ ಅಮೂಲ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಹುಡುಗಿ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ನಿಜ ಅಂತ ನಾಳೆ ಅವ್ರು ಬರ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾ ಬಟ್ ಒಂದು ಯಾರು
So
The disturbance.
can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Now you are audible.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So this Padlet tool can be used for brainstorming. It can be used for reflection. Any discussion can happen, and all these activities are possible through Padlet. So when the next tool that we are going to see is Atlassian. So this is a tool which will help us to make visual collaboration possible. So it will give us a digital canvas for group work. This is a kind of a whiteboard. Of course, there are various other things, and it has whiteboard as one of its tools. So students can get ready mind maps, concept maps, flow charts, character relationships, and other such things using this Atlassian. And for the science and technology based students, this will be of great help. Then the next tool, the other two tools which will help in live interaction are Mentimeter and Slido. So Mentimeter and Slido will help us to go for live polls, word clouds, questions, voting, and it will also help us in anonymous responses and student generated questions. The next tools are for assessment, Kahoot, quizzes. There are many other tools, Wayground and other such things. And these help us to go for a gamified formative assessment. It can be either student-based or teacher-based, but when it comes to assessment, we can always go for teacher-based gamification. And the teacher will get the update of the students' responses immediately, and it also helps in quick revision during the process of teaching learning. So we can go for a single question wherein students respond, and we can very well identify, find out whether the students are able to understand or not. Then it keeps the students engaged in the process of learning, and it will also help us not to be misled. So the possible uses are, it can be used for diagnostic test, which usually happens at the beginning of class. Then it can also be used in the mid-class comprehension check, of course, as the assessment tool, etc. So Canva. again, is a collaborative tool in the process of making PPTs even. Of course, even this PPT has been made using Canva. So students can work together, collaboration is possible. They can prepare digital posters together, they can get ready infographics, literary timelines, character profiles. Many students can work at the same time in this platform by sharing the content. Then comes Microsoft Teams and Google Meet, of course, something similar to Zoom. It will help us to go for meetings like this, guest lectures, seminars, etc. Then Google Forms is a proper collaborative assessment tool. So even feedback can be got through Google Forms. Then comes AI into action. So in the process of collaborative teaching learning, now AI plays a very important role, and Notebook LM is one of the easiest and most used AI teaching learning tool. So it is, here you have the scope for providing your sources. You can ask notes, in connection with what sources you have fed. Then when it comes to collaborative activity through Google Notebook or Gemini Notebook LM, you can investigate a common topic, you can compare different sources, and you can identify the evidence after the comparison of different sources. And also it gives a lot of interpretations and helps in preparing evidence-based presentations. So the model here is we have to feed the source first, then AI inquiry will happen. It will verify and will give us necessary reports. It gives us videos, slide decks, flowcharts, mind maps, whatnot. It gives everything that we ask for and helps in the process of teaching learning. So AI can very well support students and teachers in the process during brainstorming, in the process of generating questions, comparing interpretations, developing outlines, and other such teaching learning activities. So, of course, we should always verify that AI generated information are genuine or correct and are contributing to the analysis or towards the work that we are into. So when it comes to another important AI teaching tool which we are going to see is Google Classroom. This is one of the oldest ICT enabled tool that has been used. Especially it started during the COVID lockdown time when we all went for online learning. So here uh, in the Google Classroom, teachers can post reading material, and we will also have a hands-on on it. So when it comes to collaborative lesson, so we have to first decide upon the topic. Okay. So here we will see the different steps that are involved in the in the preparation of a collaborative lesson. Okay. So here the topic that we have chosen is AI teaching tools. That is the topic that we have chosen. So the teacher has to post some material with regard to AI teaching tools, either in the Google Classroom or in the institution's LMS. Okay, so the first step that we have to take is posting the reading material for the students. So the next tool that we can use is Padlet to understand the initial learning process of the students. So we can observe how far they are able to understand. We can go in for a discussion in Padlet, so which will tell us naturally how much the students have read and how far they are able to understand and everything through the discussion. The next step is we can make the students go for a collaborative activity in the Google Docs. So they will explain the different tools, what all knowledge they have gathered uh, through the material posted in the classroom. They will just jot down, and we can very well make that a collaborative activity. The next step can be with the same topic. This teacher would provide certain critical sources through Gemini Notebook LM. the students will be able to see it, and they together will compare the different sources which the teacher has fed into the Gemini Notebook LM. Then after doing all these steps of learning the content on the topic AI teaching tools, they can prepare Google Slides. This again can be a collaborative activity. Group of students can sit together, sit in different places and work on the same slides, feeding in their ideas. So that's how they prepare a presentation. So step 6 can be the class votes on the competing interpretations. So a question can be put in the Mentimeter by the teacher on how the process is going on, and the class can vote in favor or not in favor of what the teacher has asked for. And the next step can be a kind of a feedback survey on how far the students have understood, whether they have achieved the learning outcome and everything. And with this exit survey or exit ticket, the particular topic can be concluded. So these are the steps that are involved in the process of collaborative learning of a particular lesson. So then when it comes to roles in collaborative learning, we have to definitely assign specific roles so that there won't be any confusion among the students on who is going to do what. So one can be a researcher, one can be an evidence finder, another one can be an analyst, the fourth person can be an editor, the fifth person can be a designer, and finally there can be one presenter and probably a fact checker. So benefit of this kind of giving specific roles to the students will make them responsible. So every student has a meaningful responsibility in this process of collaborative learning. So they take up the responsibility and they play their role in a very perfect manner. So whenever we get ready for a collaborative learning, we have to design the task carefully. That is very, very important when it comes to collaborative learning. Pre-preparation, pre-planning plays a vital role from the teacher's side when it comes to the success of a collaborative learning. So every activity should include task. We should define what students should do. Then we should also give specific roles as defined in the previous slide. Then we should also tell them what they are going to arrive at, what they are going to create, that they should know. Then we should also give them stipulated time period with regard to the completion of the task. And we should also give them the rubrics or criteria which will define the assessment model. So what are all the things that will make the work successful? The students should know before they even begin their collaborative activity, so that they stay focused and they come up with a proper collaborative activity. Then when it comes to and accountability is another important thing, so that the students are aware that they are responsible and they will be assessed only based on their contribution. Just because of the collaborative activity, even a person who has not contributed anything will get marks. Cannot be the case. So they should be accountable and they should be defined on how they will be assessed for their contribution. So each individual's contribution will be mandatory and they will also be responsible in this case. Then the teacher should be very careful in giving the feedback so that it gives scope for the students to improve in future. So here again, the teacher needs to have a very fine track of whatever is happening with each student in all these processes, so that the assessment and the feedback will be on a positive note when it comes to the student side. So how we can design a collaborative lesson? This is what we are going to see here. So we can select one topic from our syllabus. So you can have just one topic from whatever whatever course you are teaching now. You would have already defined the learning outcome, and keeping in mind the learning outcome, you should go for the collaborative task. Then you should plan the digital tools that you are going to use in this collaborative activity. Then you will give specific roles that are assigned to the students. Then you will also just specify the expected outcome product which the students are going to come up with at the end of the collaborative activity. Then we are also supposed to define the assessment method, such as individual assessment and the rubrics of assessment. All those things should be clear to the students, made clear to the students. And of course, we should also have a well-defined feedback strategy. If we are able to pre-plan with all these things for a collaborative lesson, then that collaborative lesson will reach the students in a very successful manner. So we may learn a number of ICT tools or AI tools. We may learn it in a workshop or a hands-on training. We may learn a number of tools at a time, but we cannot immediately adapt all the tools in our teaching learning, in our collaborative activity. So from our side, we should be very careful that we are choosing one topic which will be easy for us to go for the collaborative activity, of course, which will have definitely the outcome after the collaborative activity. Then we should also be very careful that we are going to one tool for one activity. If we try to implement a number of tools at the same time, we may end up at a mess. So from our side, we should be always careful that we are going on with specific tools for specific things, and we should stick on to it, and we should be able to do even the feedback using as per our plan, the tools as per our plan. So that is very important. We cannot switch from one tool to another all of a sudden, and we need not to try everything for the first time with the students. Before we go to the students with some tool, we should just make ourselves very clear with the tools so that we don't mess up. So when it comes to the example for this, so AI is again taken as the topic. So we will just go with this process. We will identify the role of AI in teaching. Then the tool that is used is Padlet. Then the activity is group annotation. And the product will be digital presentation. This is how we have to plan. We should choose a topic. We should choose one tool. We should choose one activity. And we should choose one outcome, one product. So at the end of doing the role of AI in teaching, using the tool Padlet, and the activity will be group annotation. And after the ideas that are got through the group annotation activity, they together will prepare a digital presentation. This is how a successful collaborative activity can be materialized. So after any collaborative activity, the teacher, of course, need to have a proper assessment and feedback with regard to each and everything that has been carried out by the students in the process. After which she should also encourage peer assessment. So after group presentations, students and together will provide that triple W, what worked well. They will be together to analyze what worked well in that collaborative activity. Is it the tool or the activity, or or were they successful in coming out with the final end product? So what all helped, what all worked well, they have to analyze and assess. So this peer assessment will not only help students to develop a concrete idea of what topic they learned, but even the process that have been used in the learning. So this will help them to come up with the strongest idea, and they will be able to come up with effective evidence to say what worked well, and this is actually will be an example for good collaboration. So when it comes to blended collaborative teaching, wherein teaching takes place before the teaching session, during the teaching session, and after the session. So before class, for a collaborative learning or teaching, we can give them some reading material, We can post some video. We can give them some quiz with few questions to know their previous knowledge. And we can also post some discussion question in the tools that we have actually seen early. So the reading material and the video can be very well posted in Google Classroom or in the institutional LMS if available. So when it comes to blended collaborative teaching, during class session is again important, where we will go for group discussion, collaborative analysis, presentations, and debate, wherein both the teacher and learners participate. Then after class, again, reflection of whatever have been learned in the classroom uh, can be made through reflection. Again, the tools can be used. You can go for a Mentimeter polling, Slido polling, or you can give a short quiz in the Google form or background or anything. And, and you can also very well go for peer feedback in the classroom or in any collaborative activity platform too. And we can also continue with that after class learning through extended assignment. So we can very well ask them to do some work and submit it in a stipulated time. So digital tools connect in all these three stages. Before class process also, we can make use of the tools. During class also, we can make use of many tools. And after class also, tools are involved. So this is how, when it comes to the blended collaborative learning, we can make use of umpteen number of tools in the process. So as we have already seen, for each topic, we need to stick on to a single thing. We have to define well ahead. So the best practice is to avoid tool overload. So we shouldn't overload with tools. So we cannot use 10 different apps in one lesson. Instead, we can use one LMS or Google Classroom, one collaborative tool, one interactive tool, one assessment tool. So one fine combination is here: Google Classroom for the LMS or Classroom, then for collaborative tool, Google Docs, then for interactive tool, Mentimeter can be used, and for assessment, of course, forms can be used. So this is one of the this is the simplest combination to materialize a collaborative activity. So this makes collaborative activity simple, connected, and manageable. And of course, this is very important to make it a successful activity. So the faculty takeaway: for any effective collaborative teaching, we need to have a clear outcome. We need to have a meaningful group task. And for the meaningful group task, we have to develop and find out, identify an appropriate digital tool. Then we should also be careful that we are accountable to the individual students' response and assessment. Then we are giving transparency when it comes to feedback, and we are giving scope for reflection after receiving the feedback. So if we are able to come up with all these things collectively will make an effective collaborative teaching. So actually the goal is not to use more technology, but to create more meaningful learning process. So as an action plan, we can take this as our homework. We can identify one tool we will use, one topic we will apply it to, one collaborative activity we will design, and one assessment we will use to assess, and the date as the deadline for the students to complete. So the final message is: start small, collaborate, assess, and you can definitely become an excellent collaborator when it comes to teaching learning. So it's time for questions. I think before we can go for questions, we can just have a hands-on on few of the tools. Shall we move to that, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Zero telegraphy ಬಂದು zero tele English association inauguration ಬರುತ್ತಾನೆ. ನಾನು English ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಫಂಡ್ ಇರೋ ತೆಲಿಗೆ ಸಾಲು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇದು ಪೋಯ್ ಇರೋ ತೆಲಿಗೆ
Hope the Google Classroom screen is available, is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It is visible.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this is the Google Classroom. Of course, this is actually a Chrome extension. So when you click on to the dots here, you can identify Google Classroom, which will have this picture. Right? So after going on to the Google Classroom, you can create the classroom of our own, wherein you need to give the class, the subject, room, everything it will ask for. So once we fill in all those details, we will get into the page like this. And this is how the details that we feed in will appear. So this is again now powered with Gemini. And we can customize this page depending on our topic, this space. We can customize using this. We can upload a photo from the website and we can add specific picture here, specific to our course. We can add a picture here. So by clicking on here, we can very well go to upload photos, and we could have already downloaded a photo. We can browse and add here so that a picture that is specific to our course will appear here. Then this is the place where you can generate either the class link. This is the copy class invite link. You can easily copy this and paste it in the WhatsApp group so that by clicking onto the link, the students can enter into the classroom. Or else you can also copy this class code and you can give it to the students so that they enter the classroom. So this is a class I created actually for the third BA, and I can view the people here. So these are the people who are there in the classroom. So you can see how many students are actually there, and we can ask them to enroll using their name so that we can identify them easily. At times they may have their own pet names and everything here, so we can instruct them to join in their name. Then here is the class work. Here you can create different things. So material is the first thing that we will make use of. So we can very well type, if we are just giving them the work plan first, the syllabus, anything, we can just give the title and we can upload. We will already have it in our file. We can go here, upload, and we can browse and we can upload the work plan or the syllabus to them. Then we can very well specifically give unit 1. Here you can give, in the topic, you can give unit 1. We can create topic as unit 1. Then we can go here to give the title. Maybe there are 3 or 4 components in unit 1. Maybe a novel. Okay, I'll just give one item in unit 1 as the title here. And we can upload the material. We can also describe what the material is, whether it is the primary source or some learning material or some study notes, anything we can mention here as description and we can upload. So if we are very careful in doing this, if we just name them carefully as unit 1, unit 2, up to unit 5 and each individual topic here, we can always have this as a back reference. We can always refer to this and students can also easily take out what they are in need of. So the first thing in classwork is material. So after going to classwork, we will click create to see what we are going to do. So the first thing is material. So we have posted the materials. Then we can very well go to assignment part. Here again, you can assign the assignment topic, the instruction, maybe the guidelines of that particular assignment or any assessment. You can attach here. Then here you can assign to all students, or if you are assigning it to a group of students, then you can very well do it here. You can select. Most often we give it to all students. Then we can specify the points that we are giving, 10 or 20, whatever be the mark we can give them. Then we can also fix the deadline. Deadline not only just with date, but with time. Then comes the next part. So we can also give the topic, what topic it is on, whether it is just the assignment, or is it a part of a seminar, or is it a research article, anything we can fix. Then here comes rubrics. So now AI helps us to generate the rubrics also in few minutes. Otherwise, we can do it manually also. So we can go to a file in the drive. We can attach it, which will specifically give the rubrics to the students. And if you want to check plagiarism of the content that has been submitted, we can enable this so that any content that is submitted here will be checked for plagiarism automatically. So we can just identify that easily if we enable this. Then after doing all the necessary things with the assignment, we'll have to go for this assign area. If only we assign, that will be viewed by the students and the students will be able to do it. Then in the classwork, you can have quiz assignment, you can post a form here so that the students get the link easily. See, here comes the form and you can give the Google form here itself. Here again, we can do all the, we can fill in all the necessary things and we have to assign. Then comes question. So for this, we'll have to upload the questions. We can give the guidelines here, right? And the students will submit all their entries here. So they have to submit and we can view who all is submitting and when they are submitting and everything we can easily make out. See, when it comes to the literary exhibit like this, we can review the work. After the students submit, we can review their work like this. This is an assignment. This is something on the literary exhibition that was conducted, and they have made a video of whatever they have done for the exhibition and they have posted here. So you can very well view the assignment here and you can grade them. You can give them points. If at all you have some comments to give to the students, you can type it here and you can post it, and the student will immediately get a notification and the students will know what comment we have given to this particular work. So after doing all these things, we have to click return. Only then they will get uh, the thing in their page, the comment, the grade, and everything in their page. So this is how we have to go about when it comes to Google Classroom assignment part. So after we give a number of topics in this space, you will just get one topic after the other, and we can very well go on to whatever we want in a click. So here, Gemini notebook has been added. This Gemini notebook has been added as a new addition to the classroom. So we can create a notebook even here. So this is how the Google Notebook LM or your the new Gemini Notebook LM homepage looks like. So as soon as you go to, if you're going outside Google Classroom, you'll have to type Gemini Notebook LM and in the Google, and you can very well get into this page. Yes, if you type it in the Google Chrome, this is how the page will look like. You can just go to try Gemini Notebook. And you can create as many notebooks as you want. So in order to create a new notebook, you will have to click onto this. And you get this page. After getting into this page, you can give a title to the notebook. Maybe you can have one notebook for, for each course, you can have a different space, as you saw earlier. See, this is how you can have different notebooks. If you don't name, it will appear as untilted. You can very well name the notebook with the title, with the topic that you are going to add on. So after creating it, you will just click this and you can upload files either from this system. Okay, if you have the document in the system, it can be a PPT, it can be a video, it can be a text document, it can be anything. You can very well upload. As soon as you upload, you will get that added here. So you can also add websites. So we have to paste the URL. So here we will just see an example of
எங்க போறீங்க இப்பவா என்ன ஃபங்க்ஷன் அம்மா நேத்து லிங்க் ஸ்ப்ளிட் பண்ணி
it is giving all the tools, not the notes. Okay, chat has given some notes for us. So, no. Okay, so I'm going to make this as a source for my students. Then I will copy this link, this URL. I'll copy this URL and will paste it in the notebook. Once you paste it here, this will be added as a source. Sorry, not here. Once you, you have to go to add source and you'll have to paste that URL here. And immediately you will get this one added as a so immediately this is added as a source. So like this, you can go for 2 or 3 website sources or any file. Just you have to click this add source and you can add anything. Any file that you have got in your desktop, anything in your drive, any copied text you can do. You can very well paste the copied text here and that will be added. So if you are getting any text notes from the any other AI tool like ChatGPT or anything, you can paste it here. And that will also be added as a source here. So you can have as many sources as you want. Then you can just type here. So whenever you give the prompt, you should be very careful. You should define and be very specific in giving the prompt. So you can even start like this: act as a professor and generate study notes for UG students. Like this, you can give specifically and it will just add whatever can be given to the students as study notes based on the materials we have, based on the sources we have added here. So if you do not want to add one material, you can very well deselect. Okay, if you just click, it will be deselected and only one source will be taken into consideration in the preparation of the notes. This is also possible. So if you give the syllabus with the textbooks and reference books and everything, and if you ask for a lesson plan with all the tables, whatever table you are in need of and everything, then you can very well easily generate a lesson plan, a teaching plan. If you want to have the collaborative tools that can be made use of, the collaborative activity that can be given based on the particular sources that you have attached, that also you can very well easily get it from here. So all that you have to do is you have to add the sources here, be it from the desktop or from the website, okay, in the form of PPT, PDF, or Word, or even video. Then you just give whatever prompt that you want to give here. Okay, you have to give it in a very clear manner, lucid manner, and you will get whatever you are asking for. So here we asked for the study notes for the UG students, and it has given. In a fraction of a second, it has produced the notes. So then we can also go for an audio overview, right? So when you are going to go for an audio overview, you need to just give the format, whether the overview has to be deep dive, brief, critique, or debate. You can just read what is be given below to know, the range in which it will give. Then you can define what you want here. While preparing the audio overview, what should be the focus with regard to these sources that are added. So it will give the audio overview only for the sources that are added here. So you should add the source here. Then you can ask for an audio overview. You can be specific on what kind of overview you want, and you can give the prompt. And if you ask to generate, in few minutes it will generate. So to get the audio overview, it will take some time. Okay, so you need not wait until it generates the audio overview. So it will be generated. Whatever you are asking for will come down here. So here we are asking for a slide deck. Okay. So we are giving high level outline. High level outline to teach UG students.
We are not able to see the screen, ma'am.
Is that so? From when on, sir?
Notebook LM, it is displayed, but the cursor, what are the things you are entering, that we are not able to see, ma'am.
Okay. You should have stopped then. I'll check.
ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಾಗುದಿಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. But then we have to
Is it visible now, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Now it is visible, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It is visible.
Thank you,
Yes.
sir. Thank you.
Yes.
So I'll go from the start then. So this is a place we are supposed to add the sources. Okay. So we have to click here and we will get this page, and you can upload any file from the system or from the website or from the drive, or you can even copy text and paste here. After adding as many sources as you want, see, I have pasted a link here. I'm giving insert. At once it is added here. Like this, we can add any number of source. Or we can get something from Is the screen visible, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So we can go to add source. I have copied a text from a site.
Yes,
I'm pasting it here. Then I will insert this. So now we have got two sources. But for now, if I want only one source to be used by Notebook LM to generate notes, I can very well deselect this one. If I want it to use both the things, then you can have both. After which you will type here. You will type act as a professor. As I said, you can type whatever you want, and you can ask for notes, and it will see this is what I so act as a professor and generate notes, and it will generate study notes here. Then you can go for the audio overview. It will give you the option which kind of a overview you want. This will take some time for you to get it. You can very well choose whether you want this one, or this one, or this one. You can read below whatever is given below to decide upon which one you want. Then you can give what it should focus on, whether just the study points or whether the scientific details that are there, anything that you want, you can type here. Then you will give generate. Immediately it will start generating. See, it starts working, but it will take a lot of time. And as soon as it starts working, you will get this kind of an information here. So this tells you that it is working. It is working. Once it is complete, you will get the file, a downloadable file. Then we will go for a video overview, video can also be made. There are different styles and everything. You can just look into the things in detail. You can choose one, and whatever you are asking for, it will generate. So, you need not wait for this to get over to go with the next one. Immediately, you can go to the video overview. You can go for the reports. The reports, you can get it immediately. See, study guide, I click, and it will give in few seconds. It's generating. It will be available in a few seconds. You can go for a quiz. You can generate a quiz here. We will go for medium. Then we shall ask, we can give some prompt here, maybe based on, depending on whatever you have fed, whatever sources you have fed, you can just give them the feed. Then if you ask it to generate, immediately it will start generating. In the meantime, you can go for a mind map with the same source. You can go for a slide deck first. So we will go for a detailed slide, right? To teach while giving the prompts, we should be very careful. We should define carefully to teach the students. First, I'm giving it carelessly here, but we should be very careful with the words here. So I'm asking it to get ready with the slide deck, teach the students with the sources that I have added here. So it is getting it ready now. In the meantime, I can go for the next one with the same sources. For the same sources, I can ask it to get ready a mind map to teach. So it is getting ready a mind map also now. See, whatever we have asked it to do, it is doing. The study guide is ready. This is the study guide. It has got ready with short question, quiz question, answer key for the questions, essay question, then the keys, key terms, everything it has given. This you can either copy or you can share or you can even export to docs. And you can make it a MS Word also while downloading it from the docs. And you can share it with the students. I hope you are following. And my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is the thing, report it has got ready, the study material that we have asked for. So it is ready. The next thing is audio over is still in process. As I said, it will take some time. It is coming up with a quiz. See, with 4 options. With 4 options, hint, it will also give the hint. Okay. Then when we go for the next one, next question is that similarly, it has prepared 10 questions with 4 options. Multiple choice questions have been prepared, 10 in number. So we can share or we can, for this, sharing alone is possible. Then, so slide deck is still in process. We will see the mind map. It has got ready. See, this is a mind map. Gemini notebook has got ready for the 2 sources that we have fed in. So AI in English language teaching, instructional activities, AI tools and platforms, teaching and learning support, professional development, responsible AI use. Once you click this, it will have sub-points. So if we can very well use it in the classroom, but then we should be able to log in the classroom ICT machine, and we have to log in. In that case, we can use. Of course, we can also share it to the students, and they can very well click and see and learn. So when it comes to the next point, it will have the other subheadings. System is a bit slow, maybe some network issue. So you can, so this is how the mind map is ready in few seconds for the sources that you have fed in. So both the slide deck and audio overview are still in process. In the meanwhile, we will go for a flashcard. We will just give to teach. And infographics can also be got. Which type you want, you can select. Okay. We will go for a sketch note here. And this may take some time. This is how Notebook LM works. So you can go for everything in a row, and few things it will get ready in few seconds. For certain things it will take some time, but everything will be generated with a single addition of the sources. So you have to add the necessary sources for the particular content delivery. Then you have to give prompts clearly. Then you can go for the generation of one thing after the other. You can give everything in a row and it will generate one thing after the other. Hope this hands-on is useful. Then we will just see what Padlet has got to do. Is the Padlet screen visible? Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am. It is visible, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Padlet page is visible, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So here again for Padlet, you have to sign in. You can go to Google and you can just type Padlet and you have to sign in, probably with the Google account. So this is the discussion that I have opened in the Padlet. So I have just typed this: technology should support the teaching activity, not become the activity itself. This is what I have posted. Now I will share it with the students. I can generate the link, copy the link, and I can very well send it to my students. I can invite them. And they all can now respond. All their responses will come like this. It will appear one after the other. So we will have to post something, start something. Then we can very well share this to the students by copying the link, or they can scan the QR code and join. Anything can be done. After all the work is done, we can go for this export PDF so that the work will be in our hands for having as an evidence for conducting the activity via Padlet. So this is how Padlet works. Collaborative learning tool. So any discussion can take place in this Padlet tool. We can just start it, initiate it, and others will come up with their responses, their opinions.
Dear participants, you can come up with the questions now.
Yes,
you can
ma'am. Shall we look on into a few other tools, ma'am? Mentimeter and others?
Yes, ma'am. It's your comfort. If you are comfortable with the questions now, you can go ahead. Or else at the end, if you want, it's your wish, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Just two more tools. We will just have a look at them, and I think we can go to the questions.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So is Mentimeter page visible to you? This is the Mentimeter page.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Yes, ma'am. So you can go for any short poll here. So I have got ready with the poll for our participants. So you can also go to Mentimeter in your Google Chrome. So you can, after going to this page, you can type any question, any poll that has to happen, any response that you want to get from the students. So I have got this as the question, and I have given 3 responses, and now I am starting it. So after you go to Mentimeter, it will ask for a code. So this is the code 71285328. So through this code, you can enter into this polling. You can give response to this question. Can you try this? Code is 71285328.
Yes, ma'am. Participants, you can also try.
So one person has responded. No, one has attempted it to receive the
Ma'am,
response.
should we take a screenshot and then check in Google Camera, is it? And then click on the link.
Pardon, sir?
No, in order to respond, should we
Yes,
take the
sir.
screenshot of this and then we have to go to Google Camera and open the link, is it? Or is there any other
That's
way?
not necessary, sir. If you go to Mentimeter via Google Chrome, then it will ask for, if you go to the page, it will ask for the code. You can type this number and you can answer.
Oh,
2
okay.
people have responded. Or you can scan the QR code and enter.
That way also we can do it.
So this is how this Mentimeter works. Ma'am, shall we now move on to Q&A session?
Sure, ma'am, sure.
Yes, ma'am. Let people try doing this. In the meantime, we will also have that. So in total, 17 people have actually responded and 14 have come up with the right answer. So slides is ICT is a tool, it's an ICT tool, whereas Claude and Gamma are AI tools. So thank you. So hope I have done my job. Ma'am, any questions?
Dear participants, you can come up with the questions now, or else you can type the questions in the chat box, or you can unmute your mic and talk.
Hello, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
Ma'am, it was a wonderful, informative session. First of all, I must say you.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, how can we create this kind of QR codes? Is it through AI that we have to create, or is there
It will come
any
automatically in this app, sir. In Mentimeter, it comes automatically.
Okay. Is there any app for that? Is my question on Play Store, or should we go to the website and then try this website?
You can go to Google and type
Okay.
Mentimeter. Mentimeter will appear. You have to sign in. You have to sign up.
Okay. Oh,
With your
lovely,
Google
madam.
account,
Lovely.
you can sign up.
Okay.
And after that, you can do the tasks.
So there is no app in the Play Store for this. No, I think.
No, sir, no. Not any app as
Oh.
such. From Chrome,
Thank
you will
you,
have to
madam.
do these things.
Good
Lovely,
afternoon,
madam. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
ma'am.
Yes,
Good
sir.
afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Ma'am, what other sort we can use in Mentimeter, ma'am?
Pardon, ma'am?
Like the quiz type of question you have given, so what
Yes,
other
sir.
sort of questions like we can give on
No, this
Mentimeter?
is for actually diagnostic test. When we are doing the session, just to know whether the people are on the track, you can ask a question. This is a kind of a polling methodology.
Okay, okay.
This
Thank
cannot be
you.
an assessment tool, but in the process, you can make use of it as a collaborative tool.
Okay, thanks, ma'am. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I guess there are no more questions. Someone has typed in the chat box. Do you recommend a paid version of these tools, ma'am?
Actually,
Revati Gopalakrishnan is asking that question.
I have never tried any paid version. We will use the things that are free. Maybe for advanced things, they may ask for the paid version. But without the paid version itself, we can make use of it in a very, attractive manner. So maybe at the institutional level, we can plan for a paid account. But for individuals, I think that is not necessary. I have not tried.
Oh. Okay. Any more questions, participants? I guess there are no more questions. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you so much for such an informative, engaging, and inspiring session. I'm sure that the ideas and the strategies shared today will inspire us to make our classrooms more interactive, more participatory, and techno-enabled classrooms. Thank you very much for that. And I also thank the participants for their enthusiastic involvement. Maximum of them have responded for the questions and for the hands-on session. Thank you very much for that. As we have come to the end of yet another enriching session of our FDP, it is time to express our heartfelt gratitude. I am delighted to invite Professor Srihari, the Director of Physical Education, BFGC Chikaballapur, to share his words of gratitude. Before we go to the vote of thanks session, I request all the participants and our esteemed resource person to open the camera Of course, madam's camera is on only. So I request all the participants' cameras should be on so that we can take a snapshot picture for the recording purpose. I hope you won't feel any otherwise. So please switch on your camera so that we can take the snapshot. For a moment, please. Thank you very much. Thank you all the participants. Now I hand over the session to Dr. Srihari. Please over to you, sir.
Thank you. A very good evening to all respected participants, resource person, guests, respected principal of our college, professors, and my dear friends and dear participants. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable moment. First and foremost, I express my sincere gratitude to our resource person, Dr. Virgin Nitya Veena Madam, for her wonderful informative session, sharing valuable thoughts with us, and heartfelt thanks to you, Madam.
Thank you, sir.
Madam. I extend heartfelt thanks to all the participants, those who have participated throughout the nation. I extend my gratitude and sincere thanks to all the organizing committee members, IQAC members, and the technical committee members, teaching and non-teaching staff of Government First Grade College, Chikkaballapur, and the foremost, the personalities, those who are supporting directly or indirectly for the success of the FDP event in our esteemed college. And last, I extend my heartfelt thanks to my beloved principal, Professor Vasundhara Madam, for her timely support to program for this FDP program. Thank you one and all.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for expressing our gratitude so
Thank
beautifully.
you, ma'am. I also once again thank you all for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, ma'am. With this, we conclude our fourth day session of the FDP. Let us carry today's learning, ideas, inspiration into our classrooms and continue to make teaching more participatory, more innovative. Thank you all and have a beautiful evening. See you all tomorrow at the same time, same hour.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.